What's up, everybody? Hello to you. So I'm upsetting a lot of people, which is good because it means I'm having an impact. If you're not getting haters, you're not doing anything. Hey, almost a year ago, I started this channel, to get other counter cartel operators for the Mexican government to prove their stuff. And I started out being critical of one individual in particular. And today is a very happy day because at 5 o'clock today, I've got a video with the very same Ed Calderon. We're doing a video together. I just came out on Bick, and I've got a bunch of people telling me that there's no Muslim 5%ers in the California Department of Corrections, or I'm PCing up and this guy looks like a beanpole. There's another beanpole Asian guy that plays poker trying to be offensive by spelling white people as YT. Some other dude that wants to beat me up in Atlanta. Just a lot of things, you know. Some other guy telling me that my story's fake, and then if you go on YouTube, everything is just one thing after another. You know, none of it's going to faze me. I started this channel to make sure that when people are talking about the drug war in Mexico, that we don't go to war with the neighboring country, because a lot of people get hurt and killed. You have all these people. You have some chick that's on Bick's channel talking about what it's like to be locked up, and it's not even a dude, it's a chick. And then she's going on throwing out one of the major 4 clubs, the bike clubs, as being her husband being a member of it. You know, people say and do a lot of things. When you catch people in the middle of the night, sometimes you're the cat, sometimes you're the mouse, and you know, I hear a lot of sir, yes sir, no sir, you know, when you get these guys. I started this channel because I wanted people that were putting stuff out on YouTube to prove what they are who they are. I've been in the LA Times, and there's Andre, and they're talking about us fighting, and Andre being a big old buff black dude. Margarita Ramirez, it's in there. I post all my documents and videos of me at work, and there's still people saying I'm lying. You're going to run into a lot of ignorance in life. And, you know, if people want to remain ignorant, that's their prerogative. They can do it. I'm not going to be that person. You know, you have a lot of people that want to call out white racism, but they won't call out black racism or Latino racism, and that goes on too. But mostly you have a lot of people that are unhappy with where they're at in their own life, and so it causes them to be negative. And that's not going to be me. If you like my story, if you don't like my story, I don't care. It's meaningless. I have a wife who I am beholden to, and I am in charge of making sure that her life is as good as it can be. I had some nice Vietnamese lady cut my hair this morning. And then I had, you know, Pho Hung on Powell Boulevard. Hanson and Benson are great people. They're also Vietnamese. I've got Latino people, lots of them, including my best friends. And I've even got some black people I like too. But if you ever think I'm going to apologize for being racist when I'm younger, I'm not. I don't know you anything, man. At all. And if you want to get upset, I hope you do. And to the people in Atlanta and Washington and other places that want to beat me up and visit violence upon me because I grew up a certain way, you know, maybe we can make that happen. You know, I would be I'm of the mind to humor you in a gym to where you sign a waiver and then you can't sue me if I win. And I hope your cardio is good, because a lot of you guys gas in like 30 seconds or something like that, and you're sucking wind, and then you want to be all, you know, you want to be friends after. Which I'm also a fan of. You know, I think men should be men. A lot of people, you know, you start doing something for good purposes, which is to prevent a war between the United States and Mexico and good people getting hurt. And to make sure that people are who they say they are. And you have people that are too fucking lazy, they can't go over to a page and click a link to go look at a pair of documents which were issued to me by the Mexican government, and videos that show me with other Mexicans in Mexico working against the cartel. Because they're just ignorant, man. So, you know, I'm going to go get my wife lunch. At 5 o'clock today, I'm going to be having an interview with Ed Calderon. I've got a bunch of new subscribers. Like and subscribe. if you're one of my haters, I want to thank you, for continuing to give me motivation to stay in shape, because, I've got a couple million views now, total. And I'm going to go outside, and people are going to run into me. And I'm not worried about any of you, or I wouldn't have even put on that uniform in Mexico. You're nothing to be feared, man. I don't care if you're fucking Paul Bunyan, King Kong Bundy, or whatever. Sooner or later in life, you're going to figure out that you don't need anybody else's validation. You don't need any of their accolades. You don't need to meet their expectations. You need to meet your own expectations. And I do. I exceed my own expectations. I live a principled existence. And I don't need to fear anything, because I'm going home to a God someday anyways, after I've learned whatever it is He put me here to learn. If you like it, you don't like it, I don't care. You think I'm lying or making something up, I don't care. I have a purpose. My purpose was to start this channel to get to talk to Ed Calderon. And today, that's going to happen. Actually, we've already had a phone call previously. So, I went to go interview with Bick because I wanted to learn about his style of interviewing people, and I've done that. I don't like the way that I look in all these videos. And 11 months into this, I'm finally getting somewhere. Sean Ryan and Joe Rogan continue to blow me off. And, Sean Ryan, when guests go on there, he does a brief synopsis or a bio on them. And I'm not all that impressed with my bio. School started again. The next semester started again today. I'm in 2 classes. And I continue to advance my own education. I'm not competing against anybody except myself. I'm not going to make a big video. Like I said, I'm going to get my wife lunch. People like the way I tell my story. They don't like the way I tell my story. I don't care. It does get irritating because people think that you owe them something, like I'm here doing this for you. I'm not, man. I'm doing this because I believe in something. And I want to make sure that people are being truthful when they're on YouTube. To the Oriental beanpole guy that's the poker player on Bick's Facebook page, or the chick, or the dude that's in Everett, Washington, or whatever. A lot of these people scatter like cockroaches when you show them proof or whatever. If anybody wants to be on my show or wants to meet me in person, all you have to do is email me at Dave, D-A-V-E, Frank, F-R-A-N-K-E, at davefrank.com. If you do that, the percentages or likelihood of you meeting me in person and doing a video with me are extremely high. I went and hunted drug cartels for the Mexican government. You're not something that I would avoid, man. And if it's economically viable, or the logistics are there, we can make that happen. And we can do a video, because I want to bring people over to my side of the street, and I'm not going to do that avoiding you. We can talk. We can do whatever you want. As long as it's, morally feasible. I'm not going to do something that disagrees with my moral code, but barring that, I'm a pretty open guy, man. So the Bick's starting to blow up. People don't like it when you're honest about, having stuck up for yourself, being white. I'm not going to apologize for not getting beat up by large groups of racist Latino or racist black gangs when I'm a kid. And everyone wants to call out white racism. My wife's Latina, man. I love her with my whole heart. But I'm never going to fucking ask you for an apology or issue you an apology, because I have nothing to apologize for at all. So, people want to hate. They don't want to hate. I don't care. It's exactly where I'm coming from. And I've often found that if you do go seek an apology, it's even worse than if you hadn't. I'm not going to capitulate one scintilla or one iota of anything, because I haven't done anything wrong that I need to answer for. Everything that I've done wrong in my life, I have answered for in spades, because it's cost me a lot of time and suffering in my own life. And it's crazy that you'll have someone out in YouTube or internet land that thinks that you have to bow down. You don't have to bow down to anybody. I don't care what color you are, what gender, or whatever. You owe nobody anything other than yourself, your best existence. And I hope you're living it, man, no matter who you are. So, hey, I'm going to do an interview with Ed today. That's what I've got to think about the Ian and the Camp Ganyan and the other videos. Glenn Beck, Johnny Mitchell, Hector Bravo. I've been on all these shows now, and it started out just wanting to know whether or not Ed Calderon was telling the truth. So, you know, I hope that you guys like and subscribe. I've got some other stuff in mind for my channel. This is my existence. You know, I just want to say this too. It's funny because I've been all over the world, and a lot of people have a lot of things to say on my video, positive and negative. But I want to tell you that in every place I've been in the world, whether it's the Bering Sea, Russia being picked up by 2 military guys from the airport in Ufa, Bashkortostan, or whether it's in Mexico in the middle of the night, none of these detractors or people with anything to say have been there by my side, but they've got plenty to, especially the negative ones. They want to sit there and run their mouth, man. They always, so many people just talk a lot, but they won't do. A lot of talkers, not very many actors, you know, that will actually do. So, wow, man, that guy's got an exhaust on that thing. That's what's going on today. A little later this evening, I might have a live video. So, you know, I'll see about after having Ed do the video, because he's going to record it and I'm going to record it too. After we do that video, we'll see how things go. And maybe I'll do a live, if you want a live video, put it in the comments and I'll do a live video with you guys. I would love to interact with you guys. Cheers, man.